Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to our Peek into Pink. This is super exciting. So we have today, I'm so excited. I'll introduce her in a little bit, and she'll really introduce herself. This is Tricia Pacheco. Say hello to everyone, Trish. And if you guys are here, drop us some comments. We want to know that we're live. Want to make sure, pretty sure we are live. So there you go.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello. Say hello. Give us some hearts. Do all the fun things. That's how we know. I'm like, you guys, where are you? I think someone just commented. Sorry, oh, there we go. Yay. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Michelle. We've got lots of friends on. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, well, it is 5 o'clock, and we're just going to get started. And if you guys have not joined us before, welcome. This is our Peek into Pink, just really sharing, and I was telling Trish this right before we jumped on, sharing our real lives of our Mary Kay. Sometimes I think people have this image of what a Mary Kay sales director is or isn't, and we just like to share that we're all a little bit different. And so today you guys have a special treat. I'm so excited for you guys to hear from Trish because she has such a special story. And one that many people, I think, can relate to. And so, Trish, let's just get started. Tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your life outside of your Mary Kay bubble.
Okay. Well, outside of my Mary Kay bubble, I just retired from the military. And so I spent 24 years in the Air Force. And I'm married. I have a 10-year-old daughter or 11, she just had a birthday. I have an 11-year-old daughter who lives with us, and I have 4 other kids that are grown and flown the coop that are, one's in Japan, one is active duty Japan, one is in the Air National Guard working in Texas, that's Patricia, Priscilla's in Japan, and then Ralph Jr. and Veronica are here in Tucson.
Awesome.
And so, yeah.
So you got 5 total.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bonus children, yes. And then one together.
Children. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I was just sharing, first of all, thank you so much for your service. And what I realized is that I've known Trish. I mean, Trish has known me way before Mary Kay because her dad and my dad and her were in the Air National Guard together. So thank you so much. Mm-hmm. I just love how, full circle, all this stuff happens. This is so fun.
Right.
So my favorite thing to ask sales directors is, we're in a position that we have to submit for, get approved for, and work towards. Like there's some qualifications. And Mary Kay in general, that's not really how it works, right? Everyone can come in, everyone's welcome. It's a place for everyone. But leadership in Mary Kay is a little bit different. So can you share maybe what was the reason you wanted to get into leadership? What was so important for you to be a leader in this organization?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, it's that why, and the answer to that question is to what attracted me to Mary Kay is when I was in the Air Force, I was enlisted, and I was enlisted for several years, and I was pursuing a degree, and I wanted to become an officer in the military because I just felt as an officer, I could be closer to resources and helping people. Like I have a passion to help other people, and I just love it. It's like one of my love languages is to serve other people. And so I became an officer, and I got that. I did my degree, became an officer, became a commander, and I just loved being able to just serve other people, serving my country for sure, but serving other people and being able to help them be a better person in their career, in their education, and just showing them resources. Well, then Mary Kay came into my life, and I realized that it was like the same. Like you can come into Mary Kay and kind of be enlisted Mary Kay, or you can become a director and then help other people, like becoming an officer in the military. And you can help people just achieve their goals and their dreams, and they're being closer to their resources, and to just, sometimes we forget to dream, when you're little and you have these dreams. Like I see my 11-year-old, and she's got these big dreams of being an engineer, and she's planting, and she already wants to move to Oregon when when she goes to college and she's going to do these big dreams. And I was like, you go, girl, right? But then as we get older, sometimes we forget to dream.
Mm.
And you know, I feel like after I got in the officer area and I was serving, I like got my degree and I was there. I got my dream in the military. And then I served that for a while. And then I realized when Mary Kay came into my life that I can dream again. And all of a sudden it was just serving me so much to serve other people. And I had this stronger passion like I did with the military. And I just felt so driven to keep doing more and keep doing more. And so that's why I said, you know what, I want to be a director in Mary Kay, because I just feel like I can do more for others. Because the company, it's changed not only my life, but it's changed my family's life and their future generations of life. And I just like, I want the other people to see that and to feel it, because it is just unbelievable how one decision, and I tell this to people in the military too, I'm like, one decision in the military to say yes to the military changed my entire life, right? And now that one decision for me to say yes in Mary Kay, to even do more in Mary Kay, when I had no idea when I said yes in Mary Kay that it was going to take me to where I'm sitting today, like retired. I've been retired for a year. And I had no idea that was going to come in my starter kit. You know what I mean? It's like so crazy.
I love that comparison, because a lot of people would think what you did in the military, being in the military, is nothing like being in Mary Kay. But to you, they were so married. Like there was such a connection of like, you wanted to serve your country and serve those that you worked with. And I love that idea of what you said is like that you could bless people back. And I love the idea that you can serve others when your platform is larger, right? So sometimes I love the quote that says like, playing small doesn't serve anyone, right? Like playing your biggest version, the biggest dream of Trish allows other women to dream. You didn't dream just to dream. You did it because you're allowing other women to have a dream that maybe they didn't think they even knew they had. And I think you're so right. I feel like what happens is as children, we say we're going to be astronauts, we're going to be this, we're going to be that. And then there's a point in our lives where people look at us and say, oh, that was a cute story you told yourself. Now, what are you really going to do? Right? Like, what are you really going to do? What's realistic? And I really believe that Mary Kay has this quote, and she says, we're realists, and we believe miracles happen every day. That's like what that is. That's how we believe. And I just love that you correlated that so well, because I think that can correlate so much in so many different areas. So for you, there was a dream in your heart. And so I really believe that leadership in general happens not by chance. It doesn't matter where you are, whether it's the military, Mary Kay, or corporate America, or in your family, or in your church. It happens because of a decision. Like you said, one decision away, and you have to decide. So when you decided that, what was the thing or the motivation that kept you going through? I'm sure it wasn't the easiest journey. It wasn't just rainbows and butterflies. There's a journey, which means there's some ups and downs, there's some rockies, there's some valleys. What kept you going through that for maybe your dream, going towards that?
Well, one of the things that I realized that I want to do, and that Mary Kay helped me say, like, what is my dream? What do I want to do? Is one of my dreams that I would love to accomplish, which is on my heart right now, is I would love to like attach or have like a remodel of the house, or create a guest house for my aging grandparents and my mother-in-law. And I told my husband, I said, hey, Ralph, I would love if we could do that. We could build it, they could live here, and we'd be on a compound. So, and I say that because like the property we're on is acreage, 3.3 acres that my dad gave me. So my dad and Karen are to the west of us. And then my mom bought a house to the east of us. And so, for us to be able to put our parents and grandparents on this property, it would just bless my heart, because even now, that's another reason, like, what I would have never guessed for me and Mary Kay allowed me to retire early, that that I'm able to take care of. We have, my mother in love is here in our house right now. And, and she's there because we're able to be here and to be home and to be able to be work from home type of job where I can be right there for her. And I hope and pray that one day that I would be able to do that for my grandparents too, who are in their 90s. And so that dream, and before even that dream, my husband worked in Iraq for about 2 years. And so I will say it was really a real strong thing for me to say, okay, I want to become a director and replace my income so I can, one, take care of my family at home, but then replace my income to where I was earning before in my military career. And then so I can still contribute to the household finances and still feel a part of all that. And so that was so strong for me that we even sat down and talked about, like, what would that look like? What would it look like? And then my husband started having a dream to have a garage. And so now I was like, oh my gosh, so this is like our family dream where, we're starting to dream together. And, we have pictures of it and we know where it's going to go. And he knows he wants to do that. So just seeing that we can have dreams that's just going to make ourselves happy and, quality of life, and to do things, that maybe we wouldn't have been able to do before. So that drove me a lot, to be able to say, I need to push a little more, he's coming home. I don't want him to have to feel like he's got to go back. And, of course, I'm probably not gonna be able to keep him grounded. I'm not that I would ever do that, but, he's just so active already. He just loves it. Yeah. But that's one of the big things that kept me going, to want to pursue a dream in my heart, to be able to do that. Oh, okay. And by the way, I've always wanted to have a Dairy Queen too. So
Dairy Queen. You're so funny. That's it's like, after the family compound's done, Dairy Queen, here we come. Well, trust me, Tucson will support. It'll be great. So that's awesome. No, but I love that what you said about Mary Kay has impacted you, but I can see it in just the way you're talking, how it's impacted your family. And I don't think people think about that when they're starting a career or they're starting to begin their life. Like, what would it look like to be able to care for not only your 11-year-old daughter, but also your aging grandparents and your mother-in-law, like to being in a generation like that where have the flexibility to support both ends of your life. You're in the middle. You've got two books,
right.
And that's just such a place of, like, for me, like, I just think that's such an amazing dream. And also, it's not just a dream, it's happening, right?
Right.
And the dream, I always say, like, there's a difference, in my opinion, between like a dream and a vision. Like a dream we think about and like we have this dream, but your vision is that you're putting it in front of you. Like you said, you and Ralph have that picture of the garage in front of you. I'm sure you got some Dairy Queen up there somewhere. It's a vision. It's something you're working towards, and it does take step-by-step goals. But I love that your husband has been jumped in on that, because I have found that being a visionary is uncommon. To have vision and to go for something and to put it up, and for most people will say, oh, you can't do that, or oh, that's silly, oh, keep dreaming, or like what they tell kids, what are you really going to do? Like, what job are you going to get? I always like it when people say, do you have a real job?
Yeah.
I do.
I do.
Okay. Right? Like, it's interesting, right? The perspective of the world. So do you think there was something along the way that maybe shifted that perspective for you? Or did you always feel like you were always a visionary, always a dreamer? Or was there a moment in maybe your Mary Kay career or in your life where you shifted and said, there's something more? There's something more for me and for the people around me than what I have right now or what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, well, so when I was in the military, I had those visions of I wanted to get my degree. I wanted to become an officer. I wanted to be a commander, right? And so it's like I tapped it out. And then I went and did another job after I was a commander, and then I realized that I really stopped visioning what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't have a vision of what I wanted next, and it wasn't anybody else's fault or anything. It was just I feel like I did it, and I was like, okay, and I'm done. And I was just sitting there with it, and I finished it. And when I got into Mary Kay always encourages, and the people around us encourages us to be a better person and be a better you, and they encourage you to have a vision and have a dream. And it was, I mean, when I came into Mary Kay, I earned my car and became a director within the first year. And I did that with vision, because the people I surrounded myself, like they tell you, you are a combination of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And all of a sudden I was visioning again, and I was dreaming again. I was just getting filled up by all these women. And I will tell you, in the military and before the military, I was tomboy. I would have never worn a pink shirt like this before. I would have never had these earrings on, and I wouldn't have jewelry. I was just t-shirt and shorts. And I was uncomfortable around women. I really was. And to think that I would be a representation of like a beauty company was far from what I ever thought I would be. But because of the women that I was surrounded by, who encouraged me to do more and love me for who I was, not that the people before me didn't. Like, I don't want that to sound like that was the case, but I feel like I just was in just an uplifting environment so much that I hadn't been around, that I walked into that environment and everybody loved on you. I would go into meetings in my uniform, and they were like, woo, they'd be saluting me and just like encouraging me to do more. And then I started doing a little more and doing a little more. And I was like, oh my gosh, this feels good. This feels like what I was doing, when I started getting my vision and to become an officer. And so then that was internal. And then that internally like got me to want to do more, right? I started thinking, oh my gosh, I want to do more. Because then I had, I had my daughter in 2009. And then when I joined Mary Kay, it was in 2013. And so she knows, like, she knows Mary Kay, that I've been in with Mary Kay the whole time. And so for her, now I see her being a visionary, and I see her looking forward to her future and what she's doing. And I just think, oh my gosh, and her kids are going to do that, like, because she's learned how to do that. And so I see her just coming up with these, things that you can be and do anything you want. And it's because I felt like that when I was encouraged by all those women in that environment, which I never would have thought. And so that really just shifted me so much into, I like this environment. It's a new me too. It was such a new me that I probably didn't even know existed, like never even tapped into.
That's so crazy to think about. Like what I see is like there was a giant inside of you just trying to get out, and you finally let her out and let her shine. And she is Trish. She isn't anyone else. And I think that's so important, that what you said. I heard you say that you are the 5 women you surround yourself with, and they really loved you for who you were. It wasn't about, it was, what are your gifts? What can you bring to the world that someone else doesn't? Because we were all so created differently. And because of that, you are a generational changer, a legacy giver. And your one decision, think about that. Like that, it literally blows my mind. Your one decision has affected your great, great, great grandchildren.
Right.
And it has very little to do with the little pink jars and those big pink cars.
It's nothing to do with it.
Given your daughter. And that's one of the things that I think every woman deserves to be in Mary Kay for at least a year, in my opinion, to feel that. To feel that someone looks at you and says, you aren't like everyone else. You are you. And let's use that gift to bless others. Let's use it to bless the people that are in your circle, in your household, in your family. Let's use that to bless the family extended, your grandparents, all of that. And let's change. It's not about changing anyone else, but changing who you are has changed the trajectory of your life and your family's life. And I think it's so powerful. And my favorite thing that I heard as when I was coming up as a director, and I was not a mother yet. And people would say to me, you cannot give to your children that which you do not have.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they meant like physically, like if I didn't have a home or if I didn't have, I'm like, okay, what do you mean? But what I know now is that, especially as women, and I just want to encourage all of you that are watching, how you talk to yourself is so important, because your children are listening.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends are listening. Your family is listening. And I think we often forget that we are important. How we say, and I look at the way, even the way I grew up, like my mom, I love my mom so much. And we've talked about this. She grew up in a very different generation where children were, to be seen but not heard. And there was just this kind of disconnect. And so the confidence, but like our children, and I see it in your daughter, I see it in the children in Mary Kay directors and national sales directors. They've been allowed this opportunity to think bigger than what the world says about them.
Mm-hmm.
And bigger than what they've been told, because their parents think differently.
Right.
And I think that's
exactly.
more valuable than any money or cars or trips you could ever earn. So I just, so thank you for sharing that, because that's just, I think for some of us, especially if you're a mom, and I'm a mom of 2 bonus children and I have a baby boy, and some people are like, well, boys, it's different. And I really think it's not that different, because this generation that we're growing up right now is like, they said that it's the loneliest generation there ever been, because there's not this confidence, there's not these dreams, these communication skills. And I feel like you would agree, like as we've changed, we've learned all these skills from selling a product. And that was something I wanted to hit, that you said that you were a tomboy, you would never wear beauty. What is selling Mary Kay mean to you?
Well, I think selling is not really, like, I don't feel like I ever sell. Like, I feel like I represent a dream and a vision of somebody else, because I'm the result of what happened with that vision. So being Mary Kay. So like Mary Kay started because she wanted to enrich women's lives and make their lives better, and be able to, bring financial stability to the home through, the capability of a woman, so she can take care of, the home and the kids and just do all those things. And so when I came into Mary Kay, I felt all that. Like, I felt the representation. I felt like, the product is great, but it's just like, you put it on your face and it is so amazing that you don't really even have to sell it. So I just say, put this on, take this off. How's that feel? You want some? And they say yes, because it's amazing. Like, and so just like anything else, when you find something that's amazing, you want to share it. If you go to a restaurant and you say, oh my gosh, have you been to, this restaurant recently? And you haven't? Oh my gosh, I had the best this and it was so good. And next thing you know, they're going there. Well, you just sold somebody on it. Not, people think that you're, that if you're going to go like to the stereotypical like car lot, and you're going to be sold on something. But really, you're just looking for something that you want anyway. And if somebody's looking for something and somebody happens to say, hey, why don't you try this?
Right.
It's just the two go together. And it's like, how about I just exchange a little of this for a little of that? That's how it all started with the word sell, right? From years ago is, I'll give you some potatoes and you give me some, carrots, however that is. And that's how we're doing it now. Like sometimes, that is the product part of it. But honestly, when I sit and talk to people from my heart and I tell them, you can try this product and you can feel it, but you know what, I would love to just share the environment that this is. And even if it's just for you, or if it's for your bring your daughter, or see how it affects your kids, and just spend a little time with us, because this is real. This is like not anything that, that is hyped up, or people just say, well, that's what it is on the outside. It is so not like that. I would not be sitting here retired if it was like that. And I'm not, when people say like, well, I'm not a salesperson type. Well, neither am I, because nobody wants to be sold. I don't want to be sold. So if I don't want to be sold, I'm not going to sell somebody else. I just don't have it in me. So I don't have the ability to sell somebody on something that they really don't want, because I feel their heart and I see what they need. And all I do is find a need and fill it. You have a need, whether it's the product or whether it's, something in your life a little bit more. And sometimes people come into Mary Kay, even if it's just for a reason or a season or a career, right? And for the reason might even be to lift you off into something bigger and better, that you're going to pursue your dream. And if you can look back and say, you know what, Mary Kay did that. Oh my gosh, what a blessing that one decision was, right?
Right.
And even if it turns out to be a season where you can take, like any season, whether it's an up or down season, and you take and pursue it, and that the Mary Kay gets you through a season, and then you're like, okay, now I'm lifted again, and you go on. Or you do kind of what I did. I was in for a reason when I started, because Sammy was my recruiter, and I wanted to help her, and she was my consultant for like a year. And so I wanted to help her. I said, sure, I'll join your team. That was a reason I joined, to help her. And then I stayed for a season because I was like, this is kind of cool. And then now I'm in for a career because it has just changed my life. And so it's just amazing how you can kind of look back thinking, if I would have ever said, well, I don't sell anything, it's because I can't sell, I would have never been here, and I don't know what I don't know. Like, I don't know that I can or can't if I've never tried.
That is super powerful.
It
feels very military too, right? That's something engraved. You don't know unless you try, right? That's something too, a whole culture of itself. But I love one of the things that you said. You're like, I can't sell to people because I don't like to be sold, right? So I always like to say that most of us don't like to be sold to, right? Like, we don't like it when people are like, hey, come try this. Like, nobody really likes that. I don't really know anyone that's like, yes, please push me into something I don't want. Like you talked about the used car salesman kind of, stigma, but most of us want to buy, right? Like Amazon, look, people are buying things all the time, even in different seasons and different things people are buying, and you're finding a need and filling it. And I think that's such a beautiful way to picture what we do. And one of the things I love that you said the most, and I've heard it a lot of different ways, but the way you said it was, I want to share with you this environment. I hear people call it like a culture or this opportunity, but it's not even that. Like, it is its own. I almost pictured like a little, like, like in Jurassic World where they got a dome, and like, it's our own environment. We have our own Mary Kay environment that is honestly really foreign. It is foreign. It's foreign in the world. It's foreign to women, the culture that we have. It's foreign. It's just foreign, in my opinion. And it's the biggest blessing because it's all about what Mary Kay started this culture as and what the real goal of it is. Like you said, our products are a vehicle. We are blessed. I have to say it. We are blessed that we have a product that we don't have to sell. People are washing their face, whether they're washing their face with shampoo or water, with no judgment, but people are buying what we have. Ours is just, in my opinion, the best. And by the global standards, being top 5 in the entire world for skincare and cosmetics speaks volumes, right? A company that does good, that walks the walk, doesn't just talk the talk. You see the action before you hear about the boast. I had a girl say, well, I wish you guys would advertise more. Like, why don't you have commercials and all that stuff? And I said, because Mary Kay knows that women want to be connected with. This company we want to be connected with. And also, let's just keep it real, they want to keep paying us well so that we can keep having our dreams of being financially independent. And I do believe all the things you've talked about, that money does not give us happiness. I don't think anything you talked about today about the joy and happiness had to do with money. However, that money is giving you choices. Like we were just talking, you're at home with your husband and your daughter right now. And no matter what is happening in the world, that's how it is. That's your life. And you have that flexible income to be able to take care of your grandparents. Like that's an income, right? That's a separate, takes money and time and energy. And I just love that you are, Mary Kay is that environment. I'm going to use that from now on. Environment has allowed that for you. So, okay, before we have one last question for you. So a lot of people know our company is amazing. We are, I don't know if everyone knows this, but we are the highest paid in direct selling industry. We make the highest profit. We make 50% of everything we sell, no matter if you're at the new or if you've been in for 20 years, it doesn't matter. We all make the same profit margin, which I think is awesome. We have avenues of income like earning free cars, not just the pink one. We have the avenues of earning free trips. We have team building. We can build a team like what Trish was sharing, that she's just sharing this opportunity in this environment with more people. And we know that most people, especially right now, are looking for extra income, right? That's just, I think the statistic before the pandemic we are going through was 1 in 3 families were looking for something, a second avenue of income to be able to provide for their families. What do you think it is, Trish, that would have held you back from starting a business like Mary Kay?
Well, honestly, somebody's asked me this before, and the one thing that would have held me back is if probably somebody never asked me. If like somebody never said, "Hey, do you want to try this?" Because I would not have known. Because like my aunt was in Mary Kay years ago, and as soon as I smelled the one product that we have, the Moilant Night Cream, it took me right back to my great grandmother's bathroom.
I knew you were going to say that product because that's the one product that you know. That's Mary Kay.
Yeah, and it took me back to her. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is my Not a Bees bathroom." And but she, I met my recruiter Sammy at the zoo, and I had my daughter. And so I spun a wheel. I won a facial. I tried the product, and that's what got me into trying it. And so really, if she would have never reached out to ask me and to say something, that would have stopped me. And I think the night, like when it was down to, it was September 30th, and she was doing an event. Sammy was doing an event, and she said, I just need one more person. Is this something you can do? So I talked to my husband, and of course he's super supportive. And he said, go for it, because I said, okay. I was already working 2 jobs, and I thought, but busy people do more, right? Busy people are always looking for more. And so I was like, I can do this. I had done something else in the past, but I said, really, I mean, the only thing that probably would have held me back is if nobody would have said anything to me, right? Because I would have never known. But the confidence in me, though, going forward, which is just, I can do it, is amazing. But on that September 30th, not knowing what I was doing, like, okay, this sounds good. I'll just go ahead and do it. It's $100, decision. I spend more at Costco, not a big deal. The next day, October 1st was the new fiscal year for the military, and they did the government shutdown, and I got sent home. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? I was like, okay, I can bartend, I can serve drinks, or I have this like starter kit that I just bought yesterday. I know nothing about beauty skills or none of that, but I'm like, I'm going to start reading up on this. So my whole brain just went into it because it was survival mode at that point. Like I can do this. Like, I just started a business, and I've been using the product for like a year, and I love it. And they said, that there's a lot of tools available that can help me, and I have a coach. I'm like, okay. So I told Sammy, I'm like, let's do this. She's like, okay.
I love that. Well, I love that story is, I didn't even know that story, but I love that because that is, I think when people think stability in our world, they think a paycheck every 2 weeks. And
right.
The way I grew up and what I've seen in the world, what I see as true stability is my choice. True stability to me is if I need $400 for new tires, that I could go sell some products and make $400 in a day. Not everyone can have that, right? That's stability. Stability is the fact that it can keep happening. Stability is during a pandemic, our company is not only going strong, but giving us better opportunities than we've ever had it before. We are not shut down. We are thriving during a time that is really difficult. Like, that to me is stability, because like you said, honestly, what do people say? If you want a stable job, government.
Right. And wasn't so stable on October 1st.
Right, exactly. And so for you, that decision, and I love how you said that if someone didn't ask you, the reason I love that is because as women, I think we're afraid to ask, but you did it because I heard you earlier say she needed help.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help somebody. I love to help. Like, I want to be a part of a team. I want to be a part of helping someone. I know we get asked this all the time, like, how close are you to that goal? How people love to be a part of a team. Like, I always think about sports, like, why are there, on a basketball court, there's 10 people on the court, but there's thousands of people in the arena. Because everyone feels they're a part of that win or a part of that team. And even when they lose, that's their team. And I think we thrive on that as humans. And you just made that point. If nobody would have asked me, I would have never been able to say yes. So,
and I wouldn't be sitting here. So I thank her every day. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you for asking. So maybe for those of you that are just watching us, like, maybe asking yourself, like, how can you help yourself today? And someone asked you and was brave to have you watch this and be a part of this conversation. So we just want to thank you, first of all. If you guys want to share, we love comments. Share with us maybe something that really resonated with you. What today that you were like, wow, I really that was great. I love that. And tell us also, don't forget to share who invited you. We want to know who invited you today so they can get credit for that and all that fun stuff. But yeah, what impressed you? Because I'm impressed. I wrote down some things. So I'm like, this is good. And then the last question I just want to ask all of you that are watching, Trish, thank you so much for sharing your story, because all of our stories are unique. Every single person, you would think it's like, oh, there's this type of woman in Mary Kay. There's this type of person in Mary Kay. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. Or they're this age. Or they're this. I get that a lot, right? They're a certain age. Or, they're good at sales. Or all these things. But what I've realized is we are all different. But the one thing we have in common is that we have the grit to go for our vision. And I think that's huge, is that vision. Most of us have some kind of vision that has gotten us to where we are. Like, I look at these earrings, and this was a vision for me to go to the Bahamas, right? Like, I kept these silly little visions in front of me to have I was earning a trip to the Bahamas. Everywhere I went, everything was like leaf patterns, and it was just, everyone knew about it. And one of the women that joined my team wanted to help me, and now she's going on Target to earn a free car. Like, we change women's lives just by acting. Like, that's the power of that is so huge. So I keep playing that in my head. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then the last thing I want to ask those of you that are watching, the guests tonight, there's a lot of things. Trish said it. You can spend $100 on a lot of things. Costco, for sure, above $100 club. I feel like I may have accidentally spent $100 online without even thinking about it. And to start a Mary Kay career for $100, and what it's turned into for so many of us. And right now, I want you to ask your consultant, because there's a very special thing happening right now that it is even more discounted. So if you have questions, tell your consultant, I want to know the secret. Tell her, I want to know the secret. But even at $100, I think that's incredible. Like, I don't know any of you that have ever started a business besides Mary Kay, but there is no business you can start for $100 and get product with it. That's $450 worth of product, tools, like Trish said, all the information. So I want you guys to comment below if you're on a scale of 1 to 5. We want to know where you are. What is your opinion of Mary Kay? What does it look like for you? Could you vision yourself as a Mary Kay consultant? And as a 1, you're like, Robin, I'd rather eat a green fuzzy worm than ever do it. Like, please, never in a million years. Which, just so you know, a lot of us directors were also 1, so there's still hope for you. Or a 5. Like, girl, sign me up. Like, I want to be a part of this environment. I want to think differently, live differently. I want to be the uncommon. I want to be someone who's surrounded by powerful people. If that's all that I get from this, and $400 of product for $100, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm a 5. Like, No questions asked. Let's do this. So on a scale of 1 to 5, where do you find yourself? And just, again, we want to thank you so much for joining us, for just listening, for being a part of our stories that we're getting to share, our peek into our pink lives. And can everyone please give all the hearts, all the love for Trish, for sharing with us, being with us live tonight. We are so grateful for you. So Trish, all the hearts are coming in. Say thank you so much again for your time. We appreciate you. So thank you, Trish. And what do you want to say something to all of them before we leave?
Okay. Well, first, Robin, I just want to tell you thank you, because you have been doing an amazing job, and I have loved getting to know you in this Mary Kay world. See, that's another thing. Just to know people that you know them from afar, but then now you know them closer, and we're able to travel together. So I really appreciate your spirit and who you are and how you love to go forward and help others. So thank you very much for doing this for us. And for everybody out there, thank you so much for coming on, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I really love what Mary Kay has done for me and my family, and I appreciate everybody's support, and just support your consultants of what they are. It's a local business, and they love doing what they do. So they do it on purpose, and they do it for you. So I'm sure you appreciate them, but we just love our environment, our Mary Kay environment. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you guys, and bye. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.